Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. From today we are going to start the lecture series for standard 10th mathematics of Maharashtra board. First we'll be covering the part 1 and then we'll move on to part 2. So today's lecture is linear equation in two variables, and for this I am following the Balbharti standard textbook. So first let us know what is a polynomial. So what is a polynomial? A polynomial is a mathematical expression with variables and coefficients. So basically what are variables? Variables are quantities that vary. म्हणजे ज्या quantities vary होतात त्याला आपण variables म्हणतो. Now how do we form a expression? Let's say I have x number of mangoes and y number of apples. माझ्याकडे x number of mangoes आहेत आणि y number of apples आहेत. तर मी असं लिहू शकते की माझ्याकडे जी टोटल फळ आहेत, the total number of fruits that I have is x plus y. Okay, this is a polynomial. Now, how is a polynomial different from an equation? Polynomial आणि equation मध्ये काय फरक असतो की equation मध्ये it states that two expressions are equal. म्हणजे दोन्ही equations जेव्हा आपण equate करतो त्याला आपण equation असं म्हणतो. Polynomial मध्ये फक्त एक expression असतो. Okay, so if I say that I have x number of apples and y number of oranges and the total number of fruits that I have is 10, म्हणजे x plus y, the number of apples and oranges is equal to 10. This is a equation. So I hope the difference between polynomial and an equation is clear to everyone. मग the next आहे variables. What is variables? Quantities that vary. Okay. Now see, जेव्हा मी म्हणते की माझ्याकडे 10 फळ आहेत, I have 10 fruits in total, it including apples and oranges. Okay, I have x number of apples and y number of oranges and I have 10 fruits in total. What does this mean? That I could either have 6 apples and 4 oranges, or I could have 5 apple and 5 oranges, or so on. I could find multiple expression. So the number of x and y is not fixed. X and y can vary. Therefore, x and y are known as variables. Next, what are coefficients? Now what are coefficient? The fixed value assigned with the variable. Therefore the fixed value. What is our variables here? X and y. X and y are variables, and the coefficient that is assigned with them is known as the coefficients. Okay, the real numbers that are assigned with our variables are the coefficients. So here the coefficient of x is 1 and coefficient of y is 1. Okay, if you consider this equation, for example 2x plus y, here coefficient of the variable x is 2 and coefficient of the variable y is 1. Okay, you could have an equation like 2x plus y equal to 5. Okay, if let's say if I write instead of 0 here, if I write this is equal to 5, in this case 5 will become my constant. Okay, 5 is not a coefficient but 5 is a constant. Okay, now why do we call x and y variable? कारण x आणि y च्या multiple values आपल्याला मिळणार आहे. ठीक आहे, तर for example I have taken here x could be 1 and y could be -2. If my x is 1 and y is -2, then also this equation is satisfied. Equation satisfy होणं म्हणजे काय? In the LHS I'll put x equal to 1 and y equal to -2, and when I'll solve it I'll get 0 as the answer. Similarly x equal to -1/2 आणि y equal to 1 पण होत आहे. करेक्ट. तर हे घातल्यावर काय x equal to -1/2 आणि y equal to 1, ही इक्वेशन अजून सॅटिस्फाय होईल. अशी मी मल्टिपल आय कॅन फाइंड मल्टिपल व्हॅल्यूज और पॉइंट्स फॉर एक्स अँड वाय where this equation will be satisfied. What is the meaning of equation is satisfied? मतलब when I put the values of x and y, I'll get a value in the RHS that is equal to this LHS. Okay, or I can put the values in LHS and it will be equal to the RHS. This is the meaning of a point satisfying a equation. Now we are going to study types of equation. So basically we will try and classify equation on the basis of their power or degree. Now what is degree of a term? Okay, first of all, what is a term? What is a term? Okay, the coefficient and variable together form a term. The coefficient and variable together form a term. Okay, so degree of each term. Now what is a linear equation? Degree of each term containing the variable is 1. Okay, so here the degree of x. What do you mean by degree? The power that is raised to. So when I say कि x ची power 2 आहे, ठीक है, if I write x is raised to the power 2, or I can write it as x square. What does x square mean? की x दोनदा मल्टिप्लाय झालेलं आहे. ठीक आहे, x इंटू x आहे. तसंच मी x रेज टू 3 लिहिलं तर इट विल बिकम x इंटू x इंटू x. ओके, सो दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ पॉवर किंवा डिग्री. आपण ह्यालाच पॉवर म्हणतो, ह्या जे रेज केलेलं आहे, किंवा त्यालाच आपण डिग्री असं सुद्धा म्हणतो. तो जेव्हा ही डिग्री 1 असेल, म्हणजे माझ्याकडे एकच x एकच y असेल, तेव्हा माझी इक्वेशन कशी असेल, लिनियर असेल. देन विल मूव ऑन टू क्वाड्रॅटिक. व्हॉट इज अ क्वाड्रॅटिक इक्वेशन? जेव्हा ही पॉवर, when the power of my variable is 2, at least one term. Okay, यहाँ क्या था, each term, यहाँ each term is not necessary, at least one term is non-zero. Okay, a non-zero term has the power 2 or a degree 2, then the variable, see, like for example, if I have x square plus y equal to 0, then this will be a quadratic equation. And what is a cubic equation? A cubic equation is where the power will become 3, and so on. You can also have equations to the power raised to 4 as well. I hope everything on this slide is clear to everyone. If you have any doubts regarding anything, please comment it below in the comment section. Now moving on to the next slide. Second, an equation which contains. Okay, so now we have studied what is a linear equation and what are variables. Now we are going to study a linear equation in two variables. So first, what do you mean by linear equation? What do you mean by linear equation? That the power of all the terms containing the variables is 1. Okay, the terms, it is 1. Okay, all the terms containing the variables, the power should be terms. And how many variables do we want? 0. So let us read out the definition. An equation which contains two variables and the degree of each term containing variable is 1. Okay, so it should have two variables and the degree of each term containing variable is 1, is called linear equation in two variables. What is the general form? Ax plus by plus c equal to 0, where this a, b and c are going to be real numbers and x and y are going to be coefficient. And read the most important thing, a comma b are not equal to 0 at the same time. So one of them can be 0, but they cannot, both of them cannot be 0 at the same time. Okay, so now 2x minus y equal to 5 is the general form of 2x equal to y minus 5. Okay, so ax plus by plus c. What are the variables here? X and y. X and y are the variables. X and y are the variables, and a and b are the coefficient, and c is the constant. Okay, c is the constant, a and b are coefficient, and x and y are variables. I hope this is concept is clear to you. Okay, now we'll identify if some equations are linear equations in two variable or not. Okay, so consider the first equation. Here the first equation is 5x square minus 4y equal to 0. Okay, now see, we want a linear equation in two variables. So does it have two variables? Yes, x and y. But is it linear? No, it is not linear since its degree is 2. Okay, so here x has a degree 2. Therefore, this is not a linear equation. Now, 3x plus 0y equal to 2. Yes, see, here we have 0y, but our condition is a and b are not equal to 0 at the same time. So one of them can be 0. Okay, so 3x plus 0y equal to 2. Yes, this is a linear equation. Now here, root 5x plus root 7y equal to 0. Yes, this is a linear equation. See, root 5 is irrelevant. Root 5 is a real number. Root 5 is the coefficient. So power of 5 or power of 7 does not matter. What matters is the power of x and y. बघा, 5 आणि 7 यांची पॉवर काय आहे, आपल्याला त्याच्याने काहीही फरक पडत नाही. x आणि y ची पॉवर 1 आहे आणि आपल्याकडे दोन व्हेरिएबल आहेत, म्हणून ही जी थर्ड आहे ते एक लिनियर इक्वेशन आहे टू व्हेरिएबल्स मध्ये. आता फोर्थ एक्झाम्पल मध्ये काय आहे, 3/x प्लस 4/y इक्वल टू 7. आता ऑन सिम्प्लिफिकेशन काय होतं, आपल्याला अशी एक इक्वेशन मिळते की 3y प्लस 4x इज इक्वल टू 7xy. नाव इफ यू सी हिअर, ही जी टर्म आहे 7xy वाली, this term of 7xy has degree 2. How? The degree of x is 1 and the degree of y is 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Therefore, the degree of this term is 2. Therefore, this is not a linear equation in two variable. Okay, this is not a linear equation in two variable. Now moving on to the next slide, simultaneous linear equations. What is simultaneous linear equations? When we consider when we consider two linear equations in two variables at the same time. Okay, we are considering the equations at the same time, then they are called as simultaneous equations. Now in previous classes we have studied, आपण शिकलेलो आहे की ह्या दोन linear equations ला कसं सोडवतात. तर we will see one such example here. I have two equations, 5x minus 3y equal to 8 and 3x plus y equal to 2. So first is the elimination method. ठीक आहे, आपण काय करतो की कोणत्याही दोन व्हेरिएबल्सच्या कोइफिशियंट्सला इक्वल करतो. वी इक्वेट the coefficients of any two variable and we subtract them from each other. Okay, we eliminate them. So see, here I have 5x minus 3y and here I have 3x plus y equal to 2. So what I'll do is I'll convert this y to 3y. Okay, why will I convert it to 3y? So this 3y, this plus 3y and this minus 3y will cancel each other. So what I do is I'll multiply both sides of the equation 2. This is my equation 2. Okay, this is my equation 2 and this is my equation 1. So I'll multiply both sides. See, whenever you multiply, तुम्हाला कुठल्याही जर तुम्ही एका नंबरनी मल्टिप्लाय करत असाल तर तुम्हाला या पूर्ण इक्वेशनला त्या नंबरनी मल्टिप्लाय करावं लागतं. ओके, you will have to multiply that number to the entire equation. Only then this equation will be balanced. Okay, you just cannot multiply either only the RHS or LHS. That is not allowed. Okay, that is mathematically incorrect. So what I'll do, I'll multiply the entire equation with 3. So the new equation is 9x plus 3y equal to 6, and this is my equation number 1, 5x minus 3y equal to 8. Now what I'll do is I'll add both these equations. Therefore my plus 3y and my minus 3y will get cancelled, and what I'll have is, after adding these two, I'll have 14x is equal to 14. That is my x is equal to 1. Now what I'll do is I'll substitute this x equal to 1. I can substitute either it in equation 1 or equation 2. Okay, both of them will give you the same answer. Okay, so here I've submitted it in the equation 2, and from that I get y equal to minus 1. Now what do 1 comma minus 1 represent? They represent the point where these two lines meet. So if this is the equation of line of 1 and this is the equation number 2, okay, this is the line representing equation 2 and this is the line representing equation 1. If there is a one common solution, that is they are intersecting at one common point. Okay, this is 1 comma minus 1 and this is the point they are intersecting at. हे जे आपल्याला कधीही सोल्युशन मिळतं सिस्टमचं, ह्याचा अर्थ काय असतो ग्राफिकली की हे त्या दोन लाईन्सच्या इंटरसेक्शनचं पॉइंट आहे. इथे त्या दोन लाईन्स मीट होत आहेत. जर त्यांनी इंटरसेक्ट होत नसतील, जर त्या लाईन्स पॅरलल असतील, तर त्या सिस्टमला काहीही सोल्युशन नसतं. त्या सिस्टमला सोल्युशन नसतं. सोल्युशन आहे म्हणजे त्या एका ठिकाणी मीट करत आहे. Okay, next. We are going to see second method of solving the problem. What I can do is I'll find the value. This is known as substitution method. So what do? I find the value of one variable in terms of the other variable and I'll substitute this variable's value in the other equation. So from equation 2, I find out the variable y's value, which is 2 minus 3x, and I'll substitute this value in equation 1. So what I'll get is 5x minus 3y equal to 8. So what is this? 5x minus 3 into 2 minus 3x is equal to 8. Okay, and after solving this, I'll get the answer as x equal to 1 and y equal to minus 1. From both the cases, here I have solved it in detail. In both the cases, the solution is 1 comma minus 1. That is, the solution will remain same. It is just the method that is changed. ठीक है? First method ला काय म्हणतात? Elimination method. What do we do in elimination method? आपण कुठलंही एक व्हेरिएबलचं कोएफिशियंट इक्वेट करतो. ठीक आहे, we equate the coefficient and we eliminate that coefficient. Okay, then we'll find the value of, okay, we'll eliminate one variable by equating the coefficient. And what do we do in substitution method? We find the value of one variable in the terms of the other variable. Okay, we find the value of one variable in the terms of other variable and then we substitute it in the another equation. Okay, when we have two equations. And what is system of linear equation? When we consider more than two equations at the same time, this is known as linear equation. I hope today's lecture was clear to you. If you have any doubt, any doubt with whatever that has been taught today. जर तुम्हाला काहीही डाऊट असेल तर प्लीज खाली कमेंट करा आणि तुम्हाला जर व्हिडिओ आवडला असेल तर लाईक शेअर आणि सबस्क्राईब करा. ओके, डोंट फॉरगेट टू like, share and subscribe the video, and if you have, the most important thing is to comment your doubts. Okay, more important than liking and sharing is to comment your doubts if you have any doubts. Okay, आणि आपण कोणती टेक्स्टबुक फॉलो करत आहोत? आपण फॉलो करत आहोत बालभारती. Thank you and I'll meet you in the next lecture.